welcome to Wine Library TV. I am your host, Gary Vaynerchuk, and this, my friends, is The Thunder Show, aka the internet's most passionate wine program, and we have a repeat guest, which is very rare, Mott. How many repeat guests have we had? I think maybe only one other that I can think of, right?
Does your dad count as a guest?
Well, yeah, I guess my dad does count, so that's good, but, you know, and he's had multiple, but, you know, it's dad, so it's like a different thing. But not too many. I think maybe one or two ever before, but world famous. World famous is fair?
I don't know. You could ask my mom and dad. Maybe they might say world famous.
World
but I would
famous
not.
chef. I mean, one of my favorite episodes that we've ever done. Mott, we've got to link that up when we went up to Boston, home of those dirty Patriots, who are going to hopefully continue to not play well this year. I'm enjoying this season so far. The Jets are doing their thing. Michael Schlow is here with us.
Thank you for having me back, brother. Oh, man. Come on. I didn't know that there was not many repeat guests, so I'm flattered. I'm honored.
Well, you're a Jersey boy a little bit,
I
right?
am,
so
yes.
Not just over that way a
That's
little bit,
right.
to Somerville
Went
area,
to high school
right?
in Somerville, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
So great to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for stopping by. Is this your first time at the Wine Library?
It is, but it won't be my last. I am blown away by this place. It is very, very cool, and I'm going to pick up a couple cases of wine, I think, on my way out the door today.
Come on, we're going to make some money on this episode.
Hold. You didn't tell me it was free if I drove over here.
Free, right. Got it. So we have 3 wines here today. No food. Why don't we spend the first couple minutes talking about what's going on in your mind in the food world, maybe in your restaurants, maybe a theme, what's kind of in vogue right now, anything worthwhile talking about?
Well, I have a new project. I mean, my restaurants in Boston are all doing well, thankfully. You know, it's been a tough time, but they're all doing well.
How has the economy affected the restaurants?
Well, it's like any business. They're affected, and what you have to do is try to make more out of, less, unfortunately. But we've been able to do that and without changing our core, message and our core product to the guests. So Radius is doing well, Viamata is doing well, the 2 Altistradas. The one in the casino is having the hardest time because the casino business worldwide.
Is that in Foxwoods?
Yeah, MGM Grand at Foxwoods.
At
yeah.
Foxwoods,
and,
okay.
In general, everybody's going through this. But business is still good. We're still making a little money, so it's going all right.
Good. And a new project?
I do have a new project. It's called. Thank you for asking.
Yeah,
Gary.
you like that little segue?
Well, thank you.
Good.
I have a new place that I'm going to be opening up in Boston, up 1 block from Viamata. It's going to be called Tico, and what it is it's an American restaurant, but it's gently influenced by my travels to Spain, Mexico, South America, and we have some wines, from your place.
That represent.
Yeah, absolutely. Well,
is that where you're kind of getting inspiration from these days?
I gotta tell you,
always have.
Always have. I mean, my favorite place to go in the world will always be Italy. I mean, it's my favorite place for food, wine, everything. But I gotta tell you, some of these trips that I've been on have been unbelievable. I just got back from Spain. I went there this summer. And they are doing it right over there. I mean, the wines.
Where did you go?
I was in the area, the Emportada area, which is a little north of Barcelona, and we went to some great restaurants. We went to El Bulli before he got closed, and
had that been your first time there?
No, it's my 3rd time there. But each time I've gone, it's changed, and he's really. One of the things that I walked away with, we went to 3 Michelin star restaurants, and I would never do that in France or Italy or Germany, but in Spain. We went to Confabes, San Pau, and El Bulli every other night that we were there. And, if you did that in France, you need to go to a doctor afterwards,
Wake them up.
Yeah, get the paddles, boom, But each of those restaurants, I walked away with a new appreciation, first of all, for Spain, but also they were these perfect expressions of individuality. It wasn't like they formed a little box and said, this is what we have to be a high-end restaurant.
Did you find all 3 of them totally different?
Completely different, and they're all in the same area. So I think in America, we sort of box our high-end restaurants a little bit and say, this is the experience we want. And what I walked away with more than anything is who says 4 stars can't be fun? So at Radius, we've changed a lot.
So it impacted what you did at Radius?
Absolutely, it had an influence on. I mean, all my travels do, but this one especially. These guys were having a ball, but that didn't mean that the service wasn't pinpoint and perfect and that the food wasn't executed at the highest level.
Do you feel, as I feel, that because we're such a young culture in food and wine, in general, we're a little more uptight? I mean, screw tops have taken much longer to penetrate the U.S. market. I feel like because of our, short history in being a food and wine culture, we're still worried about doing it right. It's kind of like the way you act in high school. You're just so worried about what everybody else thinks. There's nobody in their 40s that gives a crap about what everybody thinks, or at least you'd hope not. And so I almost feel like that's kind of our food and wine culture.
I think you're right. I think you're absolutely right. And when you think about it, food and wine being important to us is such a new thing. I mean,
super new.
You know, it's brand new to us. I mean, when you think about it, even when we were kids, I mean, the idea of sushi was... I remember when I first had sushi, my friends looked at me like I had, you know, my head screwed on wrong. They're like, it was raw, you know?
You ate
it?
Every network on cable has some sort of almost food play these days, it feels like. And, you know, maybe I saw Julia Childs on PBS 13, right, you know, growing up, and, you know, I'm a young chap. So, I mean, this is a very, very new culture.
Very new.
Nobody really cared to look into wine seriously outside of the very small lead. It's funny, I got an email from an internet startup company that wants to make the fine, you know, art world more relevant. And they're like, we want to do what you did with Wine Library TV in some way. And so, I mean, we're still a very, very young
I think
culture.
that's a really good thing to say. And it's a smart thing to say, in that we are still learning. We're sort of walking our way through this and learning as we go. But you know, it used to be that only the French restaurants were the fine restaurants.
Sure.
And you look at, like, in the New York Times last week, and Del Posto,
4 stars.
4 stars, Italian
First one
restaurant.
since '73.
Yeah,
right?
unbelievable. So, you know, hats off to them, and they really.
I was there the next night. Ironically, we
I was there last night.
So it was, they're obviously in good spirits over at Del Posto.
They are.
Have you been to Italy yet?
I'm going tomorrow morning, as a matter of fact.
It's someplace.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it.
Someplace. All right, let's get into the vino.
Okay.
So these 3 wines, K-Murph kind of helped you pick through them, but
Yes.
you wanted to represent kind of the places that you're excited about.
Well, not only what I'm excited about, but also, you know, these are wines that are really approachable for people when they're just starting to learn about wine. Also, you know, I think we've talked about this before, where what's the first step? You know, what's the first thing that's going to get people excited? And these wines that are being made, I'll tell you another place that I've had some really good wine that I hope you can get some stuff in from. I had some great Mexican wines.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the Baja California region in Mexico is, to me, one of the most underrated places, period, for premium wine, and then other spots as well.
You would think that when you think of Mexico, you would never think in a million
Never.
years that and they were delicious. There was this one in particular called San Lorenzo, if you can find
Okay.
it. It was
Blew you away?
delicious. Yeah, it was
Well,
really
don't
good.
forget, you know, 40 years ago, which is a lot of time, or 30 years ago, which is a lot of time, but not like the most insane time. 1975, you know, 35 years ago, you know, nobody thought there was serious wine really coming out of California.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
you
you're
would
absolutely
have
right.
been laughed at if you said I had a great Napa Valley Cabernet.
Right.
So it doesn't take long.
Right.
You know, I guess it's some years, but doesn't take forever. I mean, we didn't carry any New Zealand Sauvignon Blancs when I first got involved in
Really?
my dad's business. So places pop up very quickly. So let's get into the first wine.
Right.
Do Ferreiro, Albariño from the Arias Bax. $220 US, 90 points, J. Miller. Ferreiro is an Albariño that I'm pretty familiar with and have had a bunch in the past. Have you ever had?
I have had this, and this is a delicious wine. I mean, I haven't met too many Albariños that I don't like, though, to be honest with you.
They're pretty fantastic in general.
And when you're in Spain, or in any really, when you're it's warm weather
2008.
outside, warm weather, this is one of my favorite wines to drink. It's refreshing. But it's got body. It's got texture to it, and I love this wine. You know, cheers. Thanks
Cheers.
for having me on.
Thanks
by
for
the way.
being back. So sniff it up. What are you
right.
getting on the nose?
This is delicious. This smells great. It's got a little bit of that apple and straw flavor that you get from.
I definitely get
Yeah.
I get an apple and then almost like a lemon poured on top of it.
or even like lemon zest, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, there
yeah.
you go. Because it's not bitter, but it's got that
Yeah,
little bit
lemon
of
zest
zest.
is a really good way to put it. Now, have you been to the Rias Bajas?
No.
So that's really, obviously, the Albariño capital of the world.
Okay.
Really, really great wines coming from there. And obviously, they're going to be a little bit pricier. 20 bones is kind of, you know, starting to hit the higher end
Right.
of where the price point is for Albariño. So let's give it a whirl.
Yeah. Well, that lemon zest definitely comes out in that.
Quite a bit. Actually, for me, a little too much.
Yeah, it's got a lot on there, you know. And I haven't had this particular vintage before, but that lemon zest comes out, and then the apples.
Is this a little more disappointing for you than prior vintages?
Yeah, it's not my favorite vintage, to be
Yeah.
honest with you. I've had it where I've said, "Oh my God, you know,
Yeah.
put a case away and let's
Yeah.
drink this later." It's a little bit different, this one.
Yeah, I agree. I actually am pretty disappointed with this. It actually feels like I drink a lot of water with I can't drink straight water.
Okay.
It's like a disease. I really want to because it's healthy for you.
Are you afraid of the water?
I'm very afraid of H2O in general. No, but I really don't want to drink soda anymore, right? So I've been like pounding for like the last 3 years trying to get to a place where I don't drink soda. So with water, I've gotten really into like putting different fruits in water.
Right.
You know, just keeping it in the fridge. This tastes to me like a pitcher of water that's had lemons in it for like
too long.
Right.
Exactly.
Too long.
It's not lemonade.
It's not lemonade because there's no sugar,
Right.
and it's not like the first day when you have a nice pitcher
Right.
and just get some lemons in there. It's fresh, and
Yeah.
it's like it's because I don't take out the what is it, rind or what is that?
The pith part.
No,
the
just,
white.
What's the skin in a lemon called? What's the
I
official?
think they call it skin.
Okay, cool.
No, there's zest.
The zest, right?
Yeah, the zest.
So I don't take the zest out. Like I see a lot of people put lemons
You're
in
a
water.
purist.
I'm a purist. A lot of people, just put the lemon in there and take
Right.
out the zest. I keep the zest in, and if you have zest in for 3 days, it
Oh.
gets real bitter.
No question about it, and that's what I'm getting from this wine.
No question.
But I'd still drink it. But it is not as good as other vintages that we've had.
So you'll drink any wine.
I'll drink anything with you anytime.
To me, this is a little over citrified. It's okay. It's missing a little mid palate too, and it's fairly light, which is great in general for Albariño. But this feels a hair light for me. I think Jay Miller overrates this at 90 points. For me, this is about an 85-point wine. Oh, good job, Mott. Every time we have an 85-point wine, we go to
perfect.
we go to Wesley Walker.
Perfect.
I really have to get another one, Mott, like an 87, get a Vernius Coles jersey or something.
Yeah.
Or an Altoon, 88 would be perfect. So it's disappointing. I'm not feeling it. And,
Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
How would this be affected by different temperature, that lemon zest flavor that
So
we're getting?
you're bringing
from
up
a-
something,
yeah.
I kind of want to skip over it because I love room temperature. But the fact of the matter is, this wine chilled a little bit more. I think the alcohol that we taste the hair in the
Yeah.
end and the zest will calm down a little bit. And so in the way that most people will drink this wine, there'll probably be a little bit more appealing because I
Yeah.
love whites at room temperature to really taste
So do
it.
I, yes.
But no question, a temperature increase here, a little cooler, I think there'll be a little bit more
Okay.
appreciation from the general consumer.
Fair enough.
All right, let's rinse.
Yep.
Now we move into Malbec, which has quickly become like has easily taken over
Merlot.
Pinot Noir.
Yeah,
Pinot
I know.
Noir.
Even
I would
Pinot
say.
Noir, too,
I would
huh?
say it's taken over Pinot Noir for like the it grape. As Pinot has had its huge run. Durigutti, 2008 Malbec, 90 points, Wine Spectator, $12 US. So on paper, press and price, excuse me, it comes across really attractive and exciting. Malbec has become ripping hot.
Why do you think so? What
Price rating.
Is that what it is?
Just a boatload of 90-point wines for $8 to $15.
Right.
So the category's gotten hot. In general, I think, I think the wine world always wants something new. So
Right.
Argentina, Chile had its run. Argentina getting a little more attention. And in general, the wines have delicious factor.
Yeah, they've got bold and
sweetness.
soft. Yeah, there's a bold
Sweetness,
right.
though. Almost like a sweet fruit thing going on.
Yeah, and that's why. Do you think that's why Merlot had its run for a while?
I think so.
Yeah.
I do. Have you been drinking Malbec?
Yes.
at all?
Well, I love it. And I've been doing these tastings for this new restaurant right now. So what's happening is I'm telling my purveyors, this is all I want you bringing me right now, because what I want to do with the list is make it American, South American, Mexican, and Spanish. I might not do any French or Italian wines on this list.
Really?
I'm thinking about it.
And what's the name called?
Tico. And
Tico. What does it stand for? Excuse
Tico is a Costa Rican word for a local. Like
Local.
a local, so
That's great.
it's nice, and it's not derogatory or anything.
I think there's no. You're definitely not going to have Italian and French wines.
I don't think we should.
Of course you shouldn't.
I think this is.
I mean, isn't that in general a theme of the restaurant world, where
Absolutely.
like people are looking for more niche
Well,
restaurants?
at my Italian restaurants, we only have Italian wines. There's no
Right.
American, there's no French, there's no
Right.
Spanish. It's only Italian. The only thing I have is some celebratory champagnes.
Got
Somebody
it,
wants a
yeah.
big bottle of
Sure.
champagne. We have that.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of.
At Radius, we have the whole world. I mean, it's
Sure.
everything.
That's what that is.
And that's what that food is. So, but I think at this place, what I'm
By
really
the way,
striving for.
if you are in the New England area and you've not been to Radius, that may be a substantial crime. So a little side question.
crime
of the day.
against humanity.
Yeah. Side question of the day. If you're in the New England area, have you been to Radius? Yes, no. It's okay to say no, because then Schlow and I are going to look at it and we're going to email you and say you got to come. And if they haven't been to Radius,
Right.
who should they call? I mean, obviously just regular reservations, but
Yeah, just call the
Yep.
regular reservations, and they can go on my website, it's michaelschlow.com,
Yep.
and they get all the information. But if you haven't been, you should come. Even if you love hamburgers, we won. It's a 4-star restaurant, but it's got the greatest hamburger in the world.
Yeah, no, that's a big thing for you.
It won the best hamburger in America at the South Beach Food and Wine Festival. I have to go back this year. I didn't
and
go
defend
last
your
year.
title.
What they're doing is bringing all the winners back. And it's a like battle royale. I think it's gonna be like World Wrestling. You know?
I love it.
It's gonna be a battle royale of all the winners.
I love
it.
it.
Should be good.
All right, what are you getting in the sniffy sniff here? Because I like this nose. It's quite
This is
different.
very good nose. It's got it promises a powerful wine, doesn't it?
It does. I think that's a good way to put it.
And-
It's sweet and funky.
Yeah, at the same exact time, and that's maybe again why this is becoming such a popular grape. You know that it's interesting. You know, it's not this boring sort of one-dimensional grape.
This has this crazy like cherry sweetness
Right.
mixed in with a little bit like a funky like kind of like sheep butt barnyard. It's got a little bit of both.
I haven't had much sheep butt lately.
You've not
but,
put a schnoz in a sheep butt, but it's not.
but if I did, I'm sure that's what it's
You know
going to
what's
smell
funny?
like.
I'm gonna have a new term for this. I took little Misha, my 16-month-old daughter,
Yes.
to the Central Park Zoo.
How was that? Was it
It
fantastic?
was, you start getting a taste when they're that little of like what I'm starting to project
Right.
the amazing things that are going to happen in my life with her. But it just reminds. I mean,
You smell
they-
that? Yeah. They
sheep and
smell.
pigs smell.
That's horses smell.
Yes, they
every
smell.
animal smell.
So,
But I know what you're saying in that it's got that little bit of barnyard that you might smell in a what am I thinking of?
Burgundy?
No, not Burgundy.
Rhone?
Like a Rhone wine.
Yeah, I
you know,
think-
a
I
little
feel
bit
like
like that.
it's a
You know, that
Rhone, yeah.
little bit of barnyard, but it's not as powerful as
correct.
as-
And the strawberry fruit is the last thing you smell. Good nose, as you can see, we're like stalling here because it smells so nice.
It
Let's
does
give it a
smell.
whirl.
The nose does not disappoint that wine at all, right?
Yeah, no, I agree.
I love that one.
You like that?
I love it. And
Yeah.
for $12, I love it even more.
Yeah, I think it is a value. I'm a pretty solid fan of this wine as well. I think it's a very strong example of what Malbec brings to the table.
Yeah.
It's got some great pepper flavors. I think Zinfandel and Shiraz fans
Right.
can really wrap their head
Absolutely.
around Malbec.
Like if you had a great piece of meat with this, if you had the sheep, perhaps we cooked that up.
Yeah.
But I mean, like a great piece of lamb or venison or something like that with this. But I think this would also be really interesting. Even I'd like to see how this reacts with Mexican food. Like some.
Really?
Yeah, I would like to see what happens. I don't know if it would be a hit or not, but some of the spicier things,
Yeah.
I'd like to see how this would react with it. It'd be interesting.
There's an enormous amount of people that drink Malbec as a red wine with spicy food. So I
Yeah.
think your intuition is headed in the right direction. I like the black pepper. I like the red fruit. There's some really nice cherries coming through.
It's really good.
It's a solid, well-made wine. There is a hint, like a little shoulder hint, like a hint of fake fruit. A hint.
Well, you know what that is? That was your strawberry before.
Yeah,
You know that
right?
almost like what was that?
Artificial
What was that
strawberry.
shampoo? Remember that?
Mr. Bubble?
No, not that one. The strawberry scented one. Remember that when you were a kid, you had that strawberry scented shampoo. I can't remember what the name of it was.
No, I don't
It'll come to
remember.
me. But that's what it's got. A little
Is
bit
that a
of
little bit of that?
absolutely. And you know what? If you get a little bit in your mouth while you're
You
showering,
still taste it a little?
you taste it.
Was what an herbal essence?
Maybe that was it. Herbal essence. One of those. It was one of those kinds of things. Yeah. Was it Suave?
No,
No, Suave didn't have it.
It wasn't Head and Shoulders.
Definitely not Head and Shoulders. That's a whole nother smell.
That just made everything tingle. I used to make my mom get it for me because I just like the tingle sensation. But yes, to your point, and I think that's the kind of core that I'm trying to deliver here. The artificialness, you
Yeah.
call it so. There's a little artificial fruit, just a hair, and that makes me drop this to an 88-point wine. But I think it's for 12 bones, it's very serviceable.
It's a very good one, and also I think what would be interesting with this is how this would react if you're eating something with it, because I wonder if that little bit of strawberry would disappear.
It's very possible,
You know?
and obviously different dynamics when you pair up food and wine
Yeah.
are always in play. All right, let's get to the last wine.
Well, and this is the Catena, right?
Yes, Catena.
Catena, yeah.
2007 Cabernet Sauvignon, 90 points. J. Miller, $14 US.
Now this one I haven't had. I've had their other wines, but I have not had their Cabernet before.
Got it. So they make some really nice wines. Very, very good producer.
Now who's behind this?
Laura Catena,
Right.
who's actually going to be a guest on Wine Library TV this week as well.
Oh, cool.
So kind of ironic that we're doing it now. As a matter of fact, I was like, maybe we shouldn't do it because she may want to taste this one, but we'll jump into it. It'll be interesting to watch this episode and then watch her be a guest as well.
Well, hold
So-
on. Only if we like her wine. Don't
Well,
show her
no,
the
listen,
episode.
I already panned her wine last week, so I'm already a little worried that she saw the episode. She's like, why am I coming to New Jersey?
Now,
to-
what vintage is this?
This is right here, we're looking at the 2007, right?
Okay.
Yeah, 2007, which is a really good vintage.
And traditionally, the wines from South America, what are you finding the age? I know we're still fairly new to learning about them, but
They age easily.
They
they have really, in my opinion, no difference than what we see out of California, other parts of the world. I mean, really good Argentinian high-end wines. I've had some from '01, from '97. I had a Casa La Postel from Chile, a '95, still holding strong. So I think South America.
Do those sell well for you, the La Postel?
Very well.
Same with us in the restaurant. When I put that on by the glass,
especially the Cuvée Alexandria stuff, the middle tier
flies
one,
out the door.
Yeah,
and people like it. Again, it's an approachable wine.
How about the Dom Melchior?
That also flies out the door. You know what's funny? With a lot of these wines, if they can pronounce it, they'll order it.
Is that right?
I think it has a little bit to do with
that.
You know?
Well, I think that has a lot to do with the German and Greek wines not having as much exposure in the U.S.
But
I can't pronounce anything, so it doesn't really. I just point.
Yeah. Well, I went to. I don't know if you've ever been to Milos in New York.
Yeah, I have.
Their wine list is outrageous. It's all Greek, but the wines are delicious there.
Greek white wines are grossly underestimated in my opinion.
And decent price, right?
Super decent. So this nose is really bombastic. I like it. It's very deep, very rich. Black cherries coming through. A little bit of leather for me as well. A little smoky chalk kind of thing.
But the leather is what I like about it is it's light. It's not totally new car leather. It's just like nice.
It's like light. It's like new boot leather. It's like new car leather.
I don't like when I get the car
Actually, it's
leather.
almost like new handbag leather. Do you know, this is a very interesting thing. I'm obsessed with handbags.
Really?
Yes, because I like collecting things, and I think handbags
are the new thing you're going to collect.
Well, I'm not personally
going
to
collect them. If we call them borsas, you can do it. Then it's Italian for a man handbag. No, it's a man bag. Then.
It's not going to be that, but I do think that there is a play as an entrepreneur for a very awesome website where women can, and men, if they want to collect handbags, I maybe would go there, where they can trade. I just think it's a whole culture. People rent them for $3. There's sites out there you can rent them.
I don't get that renting a handbag though. I mean,
handbags are really big expression pieces.
Okay, so it's like an accessory then.
It's
more than anything.
Huge accessory.
For me, I don't carry one.
It's
like I'm like every other guy. He's got everything crammed into his wallet and a phone here.
Yeah, that's
it. And if it was acceptable for me to carry one, it'd be a lot easier to carry stuff.
I
mean, how many times you do this? Where the hell are my keys?
You know what? Now that I'm a little in the tech world, I have my bag with my computer.
But
so
technically,
you can get away with that.
I carry a camera bag a lot because I love to take pictures, and I've got all my stuff stuffed in there. I think this is technically a Borsa.
I think we got screwed. I think we got screwed by not being accepted to have bags. All right, let's give
this is opening up actually in just these few minutes. It's changing already.
There's a little oak and vanilla and creaminess coming through as well.
Another delicious wine. I mean, first taste on that, I love it. It's strong, it's powerful, that's for sure. But that's what you want when you're drinking. Anybody that says I want Cabernet Sauvignon, they don't want some meek little timid wine. They want something that's going to be a little ballsy. We keeping you up?
Yeah, Mott.
Are we keeping you up
today? It's gloomy out there.
Yeah.
He stayed up late and watched the Giants Bears game.
Yeah. You a little sleepy? You want to take a nap?
No. Okay. No, he's good. You were happy about that, huh, Mott?
Yeah.
It was a big win.
It was worth
that was a big win.
It was a start. It was worth staying up for, right?
Schlow, I agree with you. I think this is a very well-made Cabernet. I think, it's an 89-point wine for my palate, which is really great for a $14 cab. Dramatically better than a lot of $20, $30, $40 cabs out there in the market. Well-made, good backbone, like the dark chocolate. Just really, really well-made. Really
almost
well-made.
Spit up there.
Yeah, you got excited there a little? Got a little in the nose. Really well made. Now, Mott's a huge Giants fan.
Right.
You're a huge Cowboys fan.
I am. Right now, I'm a quiet Cowboy fan.
So, Mott, you have anything to say to Schlow about that? Just gonna let it go.
He's got nothing. We can agree to disagree, right?
Mott's a much better guy than I am. I'm a much bigger trash.
You tortured me last time.
I'm a big trash.
But I told you the truth about how I became a Cowboy fan.
Yeah, your uncle or something?
No, it wasn't even a game. It was... I told you this story. It was my grandmother took me to see Bambi.
That's
Remember
right.
the story? I confided in you.
And then Bambi was the player on
right.
That was such a crazy story.
Yeah, and it's the true story, though.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
Yes.
Good choices.
Thank you.
I like 2 or 3.
Yep, me too.
I mean, the first wine didn't do it for me, and the second wine, was solid, though. I mean, what I like is, here you come on the show, no fancy schmancy. You didn't pick $80 wines.
No.
You went value-driven. So, as you know, the tradition is the guest gets to ask the question of the day. Any question they want.
So, other than the other question of the day, which is, have you been to Radius? So we have two
That's
questions.
correct. That was a side little
That's
fun
a
thing,
side
just
one.
for New England people up there.
Okay.
But for you, any question, I like how you already forgot. We got you last time on this
Right.
move. We got you again.
Yes.
I can see you're very
Yeah, I'm like,
unprepared, so I'm enjoying this. I'm trying to stall for you. And
Yeah, stall
keep
for one more
yapping,
second.
you
Tell
know.
me a little bit about
Yeah,
this.
yeah, it's big season. Fire away. Question of the day. It could be any question.
Any
Make
question.
it a food question. You
wanna do a food question?
You're going to get 200 answers, so
Right.
it'd be fun for you to maybe get an answer to a question that you might have a curiosity from the peeps out there.
Fair enough. This is a good one. I think you're going to get more than 200 responses, though.
Wow.
All right?
Okay.
In New York City, what is the greatest pizza place of all time?
Great question. Unfortunately, this is a national show.
Oh, well,
You!
if you're in New York City.
With a little bit of me,
Or I'll tell you what. Can I do one more then?
you could do anything you want.
Let's not limit it to New York City. What's the best pizza out there? How's that?
Now you're going to get a lot of
Good.
answers.
I know what my answer is.
You, with a little bit of me, and great guys like this. Nice shirt, by the way.
Thanks, brother.
I like this.
Thank you.
We're
You know what, do you want it?
Yeah, I do. We're changing the... Well, wait a minute. What is the best pizza?
I happen to think that the greatest pizza that I've ever tasted is not in New York or in Italy. Pizzeria Bianco in Phoenix, Arizona.
He's a beast.
He's unbelievable.
a beast. I hung out
so
with him,
Chris, if you're watching,
Chris
there's
is
little
a
props.
beast. Wine World.